Our final award of this afternoon is an award that has its own category. You know, we've been talking about how Off Broadway is not for the conventional, you know? And this next category was created because there are some things that happen off Broadway that are so out there we don't quite know what to call them. I mean, so we don't call them plays or musicals, we call them unique theatrical experiences. It's the best we can do to try to describe something magical and ineffable and unconventional. And so this year's award is going to go to the New York Theater Workshop for its production, its extraordinary production, its unique theatrical experience of Scenes from a Marriage. You know you're going to see something different when you head downtown to the New York Theater Workshop, and you sure did when you saw this play, directed and adapted by Ivo van Hove from an English version of Ingmar Bergman's script for the film, written by Emily Mann. The audience is split into groups and ushered into intimate rooms where three pairs of talented actors depict the characters through youth and middle age, and the thin walls allow you to hear what's happening to the other two-thirds of the audience. So, as I say, not the sort of thing that you could pitch in an elevator, you know? Not the sort of thing that people are going to say, oh yeah, great, let's do that. Let's rip out our seats, let's move everybody into separate places. But at New York Theater Workshop, they don't care about that stuff. They just do it. And the effect was mesmerizing, with multiple casting bringing a poignancy and universality to this portrait of the joys and heartbreak of a long-term marriage. Ladies and gentlemen, to accept the award for Best Unique Theatrical Experience, Jeremy Blocker, the Managing Director of New York Theater Workshop.
I have a little secret, and that is that I am not Jeremy Blocker, the Managing Director of New York Theater Workshop. My name is Evan O'Brien. I'm the producing manager at the workshop. Jeremy is a little under the weather today, so couldn't be here, so he sends his regards. And he sends me in his place. But I am thrilled to accept this award on his behalf and on behalf of our producing partner, the artistic director, Jim Nicola, and everybody else at New York Theater Workshop. Also on behalf of Ivo van Hove, Emily Mann, and the company of Scenes from a Marriage. At the workshop, we like to think of all of our productions as unique theatrical events, so we are especially grateful to have someone label them as that and mean it in a good way. Scenes from a Marriage was a special project for everyone at New York Theater Workshop because it represents a confluence of factors we think are key to creating unique theatrical events. First off, great acting made this production soar. Scenes simply would not have been possible without its talented cast, brought together by our incredible casting department. The piece demanded the best from each and every one of them, the willingness to throw themselves, sometimes literally, into the challenging process and to be present for each other in every moment. 5 show weekends meant doing some parts of this emotionally raw and physically challenging show 15 times in 3 days. The cast brought their A game from the first read until the last performance. Second, the unique adaptation of Bergman's text worked because it lived inside the ingenious world created by the production's designer. Jan has transformed our theater 7 times over the last 2 decades, and every design has been an inspiring lesson in world conjuring with the fewest elements imaginable. Great design is often overlooked in great theater, and we were thrilled that this stunning example has reminded so many of the importance of that collaboration. And finally, Scenes from a Marriage represents just one moment in a 20-year relationship with Ivo. We're about to head into a season where he returns to our theater with a new piece. His incredible A View from the Bridge transfers to Broadway, and he brings his production of Antigone to BAM. It's hard to remember that 2 decades ago, this giant was a relative unknown, and that his first few forays into the New York stage were not as rapturously received by the critics as his last few. But New York Theater Workshop made a home for Ivo in New York, and he has returned that favor by bringing us time and again insightful and electric adaptations that reveal new depths in familiar works. So thank you to the Off Broadway Alliance for acknowledging this work and all the work of the talented artists that came together to make this a truly unique theatrical experience. Thanks.